Hello there, and today I wanted to share a card with you that I'd made with some of my new goodies. I had some of my first products come from the new catalogue just yesterday that I'd earned during celebration, which meant I got them for free, which is brilliant. And one of the first things, in fact it was the first thing I had to bust out, was the new Floral Phrases stamp set, and it's coordinating detailed floral thinlits. And it's actually quite tricky to get your mouth around. Okay, they're absolutely gorgeous. The layout for the product suite in the catalogue looks stunning with navy and white. There's coordinating paper, there's coordinating washi. I have ordered those, but those haven't come yet. They'll hopefully come in the next couple of days. But I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to bust these out straight away and make my first card. So if we have a little look closer at the dies, there are 3 dies in the collection. You get this larger floral one, you've got a small floral one, and then you've got this edging piece. Now if you've looked at the video that Stampin Up did for you, they showed you that this edging piece fits over the top of both of these halves of the floral die, like so, so that you can cut along that top edge without you having to fussy cut that by hand. And it gives you some examples. You get this in the pack with it, and it shows you how you use that die to cut that border edge, and it also shows you how you can position both of these on a piece of on like a card front to get a top and a bottom, and you leave like a little gap in the middle. And I think one of the cards in the catalogue shows you that they've actually then put a banner through there into that gap. And I was just having a look at them and playing around with them, and I'm thinking, that's all beautiful, I love it, but why not put these the other way around? So instead of having them top to bottom like that with the gap, why not like that with the gap and have the beautiful edges more on show? So that's what I did. Oh, I can't pick that one up. And here's the card I made. A special note of thanks to you. So as you can see, I cut the smaller framelit and the larger framelit out of a panel that will fit on my front of my card base, but left a gap in the middle for my sentiment. I took my inspiration from the colours in the catalogue, so I've gone with the Night of Navy with the white. This is the extra thick white cardstock, because obviously these bits can all be quite delicate once the thinlits have cut them, so I just wanted them to have that little extra strength to them. And then when I'd done that one, I decided I wanted to do the colourway the other way round. So then I've got a white base with Night of Navy for my florals, and I flipped it as well, so I've got the smaller thinlit at the bottom and the larger thinlit at the top, and I've left a slightly bigger gap this time that I could fit a slightly larger greeting in there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I made this card today. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a card base. This is a standard UK card base, half a sheet of A4 lengthwise and then scored. And then this is a piece of the thick white cardstock, and this is just a few millimetres. I think it's 4 inches wide, which is just a couple of millimetres narrower than a card base. These dies do work in the UK. They're slightly, I would say, aimed at an American card base, which is actually ever so slightly wider than ours and ever so slightly shorter. So this would fit more perfectly into the centre of there, and you'd have a slightly larger gap that way. You could always cut your cut a piece of 12 by 12 card instead to make an American size card base, but you can do it with the UK ones. You just end up with quite a narrow border. So this is 4 inches across and the depth of a card base, because the edge lit dies will cut the top and bottom off for us. And then just a standard Night of Navy card base. Don't need that for a moment. Do need this, do need the dies, and we do need our big shot. Okay, so here's my big shot. I'm going to try and get it into the screen as best as I can for you whilst still allowing it to actually cut. So I'm going to be doing it sideways, I'm afraid. Let me move this like that perhaps. That's a bit better, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to start by cutting the larger one, and I'm going to cut it at the bottom. You want to make sure that the edges to the left and right hand side are nice and even and straight. And then when you're happy with the placement of that, you can go ahead and cut this one at the same time. It's up to you. You can cut it afterwards if you like, or you can go ahead and cut it now. I'm just going to have a little minor fight with the magnets on my magnetic platform. The catalogue recommends that you use the precision plate for cutting these, and I think I probably would too. I just don't actually own it at the moment. It's on its way, but I don't actually have it at the minute. So you can fit both of these on here together, that's not a problem. And when you're happy with your placement, you can put your second plate on and through you go. Now, because I don't have the precision plate, I'm actually going to go forwards and I'm going to go back the other way. We're moving a little bit, I'm afraid. Now we've got to get all these pieces out of here, so I'm going to take this off for now. That cut the edge piece, so that can go. We'll use this one in a minute, but for now I've got to get all the bits and this out of here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I shall move the big shot again, and for this, if you've used the precision plate, they'll probably come out a lot quicker and better, but because I haven't, it's going to be a little extra work for me. But I'm going to use my big shot die brush to try and get out as many of the little pieces, at least from the die, as possible. There we go, pretty clean actually, even without the precision plate, but I have got quite a lot of bits still in here. Okay, I'll pick out the loosest ones and we'll carry on. So let's get rid of those bits. I'll poke the rest of those out in a minute, but they're not in the way. So actually, so that I make sure I get that bit the right size that I wanted, I'm actually going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment now. So this is the A Special Note of Thanks to You and my Night of Navy ink pad. And I'm actually just going to go ahead, position that above the die cut, and go ahead and stamp it down. And now we're happy with that, we can go ahead and die cut this one above it to finish the panel. So now that I've stamped my sentiment across the middle there, I've gone ahead and put my panel back onto my big shot, and this time I've lined up the smaller of the floral Thinlit dies, and I've put that edge on again. You might as well cut them both at the same time and save yourself going through the machine too often. So I'm going to put my second plate on and pop it through. I'm moving all over. And like before, I'm going to go back as well, just because I haven't got that precision plate yet. Okay. Right, let's get the big shot out of the way. So there's the edgelet and the bit it cut off. We don't need that. So let's see about getting this out of the die. So I'm going to have another brush with my big shot brush. Everything's moving all over the place. So that's come off pretty clean. There's only one little bit left in there. There we go. They actually come out quite well. And then all that's left to do is to pop out all those little pieces. Let's get rid of the bits. Right, I should go ahead and pop out all these little pieces, and then we can just finish assembling the card. Okay, so I've popped all those little pieces out. I only actually had a few tiny little bits left to do. So all that's left to do is to now attach that to my base card. Now I want it to pop up a little bit, so I am going to use dimensionals. So I've got my sheet of dimensionals here, and underneath the sentiment where we've got quite a wide strip, I shall bob some whole dimensionals. But then just so that I can hold the rest of it down, I've got some strips that I've cut off the edge, and then that sort of leftover bit you get all the way around. Well, I just cut those into tiny strips. You could use those new strip foam adhesives we've got, you know, for the shaker cards. That adhesive, that would work. They're a bit thicker, a bit higher, deeper. The first card I did actually was using those though, so you can use them. Okay, so I'm just going to put little pieces just wherever, to be honest, I can find a gap big enough for a bit that isn't going to show through. So I would generally do that all over. I won't bore you with watching me stick dimensionals down. That's not very exciting, is it? I've taken the whole thing off there. No, that bit doesn't want to come off. Never mind. Okay, I would have put a few more bits on, but if it's just me. So here's my card base, and deciding which side I want to be the front, I'm just going to go ahead and stick this down. Now you could go up a little bit, you could go down a little bit, you can aim for the centre, that's totally personal choice. You're just trying to get the gap, the very thin gap that there is left to right. You're just trying to make sure that you've got that even. And there we go. And there's my completed card. So there's the original one. So that's the one, like I say, I actually used the foam strips for that. The new one's for the shaker cards. It's just a little bit higher. And then there's the version I did in the other colourway. And I heat embossed the congratulations in white onto the strip of that one. So I hope you've enjoyed today's card, and I hope I've given you another idea for using those new detailed floral Thinlits. Come back again soon for more cards, more videos. I've been working on a box, a really gorgeous box using these Thinlits today that I'll be looking to share with you in the near future, and I hope I see you back here again soon. Bye.